that too has receded into the past. And so this brings us to the meat of tonight's show. What has UP accomplished to merit not only a centennial year, but a commemorative decade? And what is the future for a national, secular university in an age of globalization and national degeneration? We'll be back.
Books featured by The Explainer are available on shelves or on order at a different bookstore.
With us is Dr. Roman, the first female president of the University of the Philippines. Dr. Roman, if I may, let me begin by asking you, can you update our viewers on the status of what's happened with the UP Charter and how you expect to move forward with this in hand?
Oh, well, I think everybody knows that the new charter was signed by President Arroyo on April 29, 2008. So that was about 6-7 months ago. And so it took effect about 15 days later. And we are implementing the new charter at this time. The new charter has, if I may just discuss the features, well, the new charter confers on UP the recognition as a national university. So that to us is very important. In higher education in many parts of the world today, the national university is considered, you know, the leading university in any country. And so if UP, now that UP is recognized as the national university, people immediately get the impression that this university is the leading university in the country. So that is important to us. The charter also provides us the flexibility that we need to face the challenges of our next century.
Well, this was the most controversial aspect of the debates going on in Congress over the charter. There was the question of and also within the university, because there was a very vocal group that wanted full state subsidies for everything, and there was another group saying you can't just keep relying on funding from the government, and UP has to have its own way of coming up with income, and then of course untying your faculty and staff from other regulations.
That's
covering
correct.
all.
That's
So
correct.
how is this playing out now that you have obtained the charter?
Well, the students always argue that education, higher education, should be fully subsidized. But the worldwide trend is less and less government support for higher education, but more support for basic education. I guess that is considered even more important. We in the University of the Philippines can also argue that, you know, UP should get a higher budget. But if government chooses not to give us everything we want, we cannot just sit down and relax. So we have to be more resourceful. So that students continue to argue that no, we should insist that government should give us everything that we need. Of course, we can just sit down and wait for government to come in, but if money is not forthcoming, then it would be irresponsible for us not to.
But in the past, your hands were tied by the old charter, so with the present one...
Not really. We were allowed to lease our land because, after all, we are a land-grant university. We have not been prevented by the old charter to use our idle property for purposes other than academic. We have been able to do a little of these things, but now there are certain provisions of the charter that gives us even greater flexibility, like we can enter into joint ventures, we can establish subsidiary corporations, and but this is not really something that is altogether different from what we had in the old charter.
Excuse me. I understand, Rob, you have a question.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, when I was there, UP was implementing a socialized tuition scheme. Is that still in effect right now?
Still in effect.
Okay, from bracket 1 to 9, or...
Yes, we we revised the socialized tuition and financial assistance program in 2007. We no longer have the numeric brackets, the brackets 1 to 9. What we have is brackets A to E. So that differentiates the old socialized tuition from the new one that we have right now, and the difference would be in the income brackets. The program is still there.
And I believe we have a question now from your blog. Is there going to be any increase in the teachers? It's in the faculty salary in the near future?
Oh, this is a question from Clerk.
Yes.
Hopefully there should be, we would like to have salary increases for our faculty, but in the charter, I think it is so stated that in the event that we decide to increase faculty salaries, we have to source the money to fund the faculty salaries. And we just got our charter 6-7 months ago, and we are still in the process of identifying or determining the source for that the source of funding to increase the salaries. At this time, we are not ready. We have not even drawn up the compensation plan for the faculty. However, what we have implemented, because in the new charter, the Board of Regents has been authorized to draw up a compensation package. Now, compensation equals salaries plus benefits.
Benefits, yes.
Salaries, you must have a continuing source of income. Benefits, you must also have a continuing source, but it is not as critical as salaries. Benefits, now we have been able to implement that part of that provision. It's the salaries that we're still preparing
because
for.
you're faced with a genuine problem of a brain drain in UP, in that some of your faculty have been attracted to other institutions or even the private
sector, industry, other countries. Mm-hmm.
So and how long do you think this process will take before you can at least be on par with the other private schools in the Philippines?
Compared to some private universities in the Philippines, we receive only about a fourth or a fifth of what the faculty members in other universities are getting. But I also salute our faculty. Many of them are not in the university for financial reasons. Many of them are intrinsically motivated. They derive satisfaction out of doing, what they want to do best, teaching and research. They don't care too much for fine dining. All they want to do is stay in the laboratory, have state-of-the-art equipment, and do their work quietly. So we still have faculty members who are like, who do these things. And that's why I always say, if there are missionaries in this country, many of them can be found in the University of the Philippines.
We have a question from the floor.
Right. Wami here wants to ask something about the Centennial, I believe.
Yes. As I am a student from the UP Diliman campus, I'm just interested to know if there are other events in the other UP campuses, such as Mindanao and Baguio, that celebrate the event.
Well, in a few days, we will end the year. We started our celebration in January of this year, and all campuses, all at the same time, had programs to celebrate the centennial. Diliman students may not have been aware of what activities have been held in the other campuses, but I can assure you that all these campuses had a long list of activities, Centennial Lecture Series, they had their debates, contests. But the focus actually is on the UP system, because as you know, when we were established in 1908, there were colleges that were established before the University of the Philippines. And that is why the College of Medicine celebrated its centennial in 2005, 3 years before
ahead.
UP did. The Philippine General Hospital celebrated its centennial in 2007. UP is celebrating its centennial this year. Next year, it is UP Los Baños that is going to celebrate its centennial. Year after that, it's the College of Engineering. So it's a continuing thing. Los Baños is going to go full blast next year to celebrate its 100th year. And so I am truly the centennial president. I have been celebrating centennial activities since 2005.
There's a question also from Clerk here, from Jubert. Is there by any chance that TOEFL would be repealed